Hello, my name's Shoeb Desai. On the street, being a good neighbour kind of lends itself to the spirit of the street and taking care of each other. For me, kind of the most normal thing for me is to help and support, and that's how we were brought up. Alexandra, she's an elderly woman that's lived on the street for many years now, incredibly independent, brilliant, kind of stories to tell. We just find her an incredible woman. To give you a specific example, over the winter, I was out and I saw that I could buy some grit for the home, and that would make it easier. Now, so whilst I was out, I bought an extra bag full for Alexandra. She has it, and she will then put that grit out whenever she wants. And she's incredibly, happy with that arrangement because, again, see, it gives her independence to do it her way. But she couldn't necessarily have gone out and bought this grit. Similarly, Alexandra has, for instance, like a power wash that I will borrow to do my backyard. But the fair exchange then is that when I go round to Alexandra's, I'll do her backyard for her because that's the bit that she finds hard. Alexandra will come here, she'll speak to my daughter. They sometimes work on some knitting that we can't help her with, but Alexandra can. Extremely talented, gifted person, and she would like to pass that on to a younger person, and she does. So it's definitely a two-way street. Helping Alexandra has been an evolving process. It's developed and it's based on trust. Being a good neighbour for me means just ensuring that when she needs that help, asking, offering, giving, which she appreciates and makes life that bit easier for her. Sometimes that means making her safe as well. So rather than she having to speak to somebody else that she might not necessarily trust, or there might be issues about understanding what she's wanting, or somebody coming into her house, if she can ask us and we can help out, we definitely do, whether that's me or the member of the family, or it might even be somebody on the street. We might talk to each other and say which one of us can help Alexandra out, and we do. Sometimes helping is not easy because you don't always know what somebody wants. So sometimes you might be walking along the street and you might think, could, for instance, Alexandra want that help? But you think, and you don't ask, and you walk past, and that moment's lost. So that's one thing, that sometimes asking is not a bad thing because you leave that person then in control to say, yes, that would be good, or they might say, no, I'm fine. I think what's particularly important is that, although Alexandra might be elderly, she's incredibly independent, she can do most things, she's a very smart woman, and therefore to remove that independence or overburden her could spoil that spirit of help. So I think there needs to be boundaries here, and the boundary is, could I help? Yes, I can, I'll ask, I'll offer, but most importantly, ensure that under no way Alexandra feels in this situation overburdened by it, or feels that we're taking anything away from her. Because the other thing here is, and that this is important, that in this case, for instance, like Alexandra, she has a very supportive family, but the family's not on the doorstep. So this help that we're offering is not replacing the help of the family or anybody else, and therefore not overstepping the mark. And I think it's also accepting that Alexandra has something to offer, which she does, and it works. So my message to anybody would be, if you can, help.